In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of Holy Spirit, one God. Amen. That's how the universe works. Silent, precise, balanced. It doesn't scream, it observes. And when the time is right, it adjusts. There's a cosmic balance that governs everything. Whether people believe in it or not, you can't throw shadows at someone walking in light without losing your own direction. And those who plotted your downfall, they're now trapped in the very holes they dug for you, because chosen ones don't just survive sabotage, they evolve because of it. The ones who whispered behind your back, who doubted you, who wanted you to fail, they forgot one truth. The universe always remembers, and when it moves in ways that silence your critics more effectively than any words ever could. Let this burn into your mind. Your glow was forged in fire, and your silence was sharper than their noise. Their obsession became their punishment, because the power of a chosen one isn't loud, it's haunting, it lingers, it rewrites reality. So if you're one of the rare few who's been through the storm and came out glowing, the space is for you. Like and subscribe, because we're diving deep into power, presence, and the kind of evolution that keeps your enemies up at night. Your rise isn't coming, it's already happening, and the universe is finally aligning in your favor. Something in you is changing, and they can feel it, even if they don't understand it. Your presence is louder than their opinions. Your silence is more powerful than their noise. The shift has already started, and the energy around you is rearranging itself in your favor. Before we go deeper into this transformation, take a second to lock it in. Hit that like button to claim the power that's awakening in you. Subscribe so this message out there, and drop 99 in the comments to send a surge of energy through this video. The ones watching closely already know this isn't just content, it's confirmation. Stay with this until the end, because your glow up is the very thing they try to stop. Number one, stop dimming your light. Your energy is speaking louder than words. They don't know what it is, but they feel it. You walk into a room and the atmosphere bends. Something shifts. Conversations slow. Eyes turn, not because of what you're wearing, not because of your looks, but because your energy entered first and claimed its space like it's always belonged there. This is what happens when the universe starts aligning with your frequency. There's no announcement, no flashing sign, just a silent, invisible force that follows you like a gravitational pull, one that others can't explain, but they can't ignore either. You become a living contradiction, calm yet commanding, quiet yet unforgettable. You're not trying to stand out, you just can't blend in anymore. People around you may try to replicate your energy, but it doesn't work. They can copy your clothes, your hairstyle, even your words, but not your vibration. What you carry isn't on the surface, it's encoded deep into your being. It's the weight of every battle you didn't break, from the glow of every scar turned into power. It's how your silence carries more weight than the loudest noise. You're not loud, but your presence speaks volumes. And what it says is simple. I know who I am, and I no longer shrink to fit anyone's comfort. This is why people stare longer than they mean to, why they feel uneasy when you're calm, why they whisper when you walk past. Your aura unsettles the ones still hiding behind masks, because yours is real in a world drowning in filters and fake smiles. You're the one person who shows up raw, and that's terrifying to those who don't know how to live without pretending. But here's the deeper truth. This magnetic energy Didn't come easy. It was forged in silence, in solitude, in moments no one saw. That's why it can't be replicated, and that's why it haunts those who once underestimated you. You are no longer someone who needs to be noticed. You are someone who must be felt. That's a different level of power. That's not charisma. That's alignment. So when they look confused, when they gossip, when they say you've changed, they're right. You've become untouchable, not because you try to be better than anyone, but because you finally stopped dimming your own fire. This is an attraction. It's gravitational. And trust this, the more you align with your truth, the more unstoppable that energy becomes. They won't know what to call it, but they'll never forget how it made them feel. Number two, don't follow the crowd. Authenticity is your ultimate power. While the world is busy playing dress up with borrowed identities, you, the chosen one, are doing something far more dangerous. You're showing up as yourself. And that's exactly why they can't stop staring. Not because you're loud, not because you're trying to be different, but because in a society obsessed with filters and facades, you're walking around unfiltered, and it shakes people to their core. Authenticity doesn't scream. It doesn't need applause. It commands attention without asking for it. The truth is, most people have no idea who they are without the opinions of others telling them what to be. But you've stopped needing permission, and that's what makes you unforgettable. While others lose themselves trying to fit in, you're becoming magnetic by standing alone. There's something about someone who refuses to chase trends, a quiet boldness that triggers curiosity, admiration, and sometimes envy. You're not auditioning for anyone's approval. You're not twisting yourself to please the algorithm of the day. You're solid, grounded. And the world doesn't know what to do with someone they can't mold. They whisper behind your back, trying to decode why you stand out without even trying. What they don't realize is this realness is rare, and it always wins in the end. You're not just attractive because of how you look. You're attractive because you represent something that's disappearing truth. Your energy is liberating without even speaking. You give others silent permission to be real. And that's why they're drawn to you, even if they don't understand why. This isn't rebellion, this is alignment. This isn't about being different. This is about being real. When everyone else is performing, the most ironic part, by not caring to be noticed, you've become unforgettable. Let them chase trends. Let them exhaust themselves for approval. You've already won by daring to be yourself in a world terrified of authenticity. That's the power they'll never be able to imitate, and the magnetism they'll never be able to resist. Number three, read the room before it breaks you. Trust that inner knowing. There's something eerie about how you just know. You don't need explanations. You don't need words. The room could be silent, yet you'll still pick up everything they're too afraid to say. That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That's the unseen intelligence the universe wired into you, and it haunts people, chosen ones. Don't guess emotions. They read the energy beneath them. You can look someone in the eye and feel the storm they're hiding. You hear what's not said. You notice the tremble in their silence, the fatigue behind their smile, the insecurity they try to cover with arrogance. People don't understand how you do it. They just know that when you're around, they feel seen in ways they've never experienced before. Exposed but safe. Vulnerable but comforted. It's why strangers open up to you. It's why even your enemies feel disarmed in your presence. What they don't realize is this: your intuition isn't just a gift, it's a mirror. And most people aren't ready to see their own reflection. But you're not afraid of depth. You walk straight into the emotions others avoid. And the moment someone tries to wear a mask around you, something in your energy peels it right off. They don't even know why they're talking so much, why they're admitting things. They've never told anyone, but you do. That's your power. You weren't designed to fit into surface level conversations. Your entire frequency is tuned to what's buried underneath. And that's exactly why people keep coming back. They crave the feeling of being understood, even if it unsettles them. What makes your intuition dangerous to the wrong people is this. You notice what they're trying to hide, but you don't use it against them. You don't manipulate. You don't judge. You simply understand. And that alone can make people feel more exposed than any confrontation ever could. They can't describe what it is, but it stays with them, that feeling of being understood without having to explain. Anything that's your quiet superpower, and it's part of what's making you more attractive than ever. Number 4, stop explaining yourself. Set boundaries without saying a word. There's something about you now that makes people pause before they approach. A shift they can't name, but they feel it like a silent wall that wasn't there before. And no, you didn't say a word. You didn't have to. That's the power of a chosen one who finally knows their worth. Your boundaries aren't posted like signs. They're felt like temperature changes. People walk into your space and immediately sense what flies and what doesn't. It's a form of unspoken dominance, not the kind that screams or flexes, but the kind that lives in your stillness, leaves no room for disrespect. You don't chase validation. You don't beg for understanding. Your presence alone draws a clear line. And suddenly, the ones who used to test you now tread carefully. That's what happens when you stop explaining yourself to people who never deserved access in the first place. You've become too grounded to be shaken, too clear to be manipulated. And here's the irony. They call you cold, distant, or changed, not realizing they're reacting to the boundary they never thought you'd build. The boundary that exposes their all control. But let them whisper, let them wonder, because every chosen one eventually learns the loudness power is silent. You don't need to raise your voice when your energy already speaks. What it says is simple. You don't get to move me. This quiet strength is unsettling to those who rely on chaos. They can't argue with it. They can't guilt trip it. They can't manipulate it. So they do the only thing left. They retreat. Not because you push them out, but because your energy no longer invites what it used to tolerate. You've become a fortress, not hard, but sacred. And that's why your attractiveness multiplies. People are drawn to the mystery, to the power, to the unshakable peace. Your silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. Your calm isn't passive, it's controlled fire. And the truth is, the more boundaries you enforce without words, the more the universe clears the path for the ones who truly belong in your presence. Let them feel the distance. Let them respect the silence. That's the glow they can imitate and the respect they can steal. Number 5, don't fake the glow. True transformation shows without trying. There's a reason they keep staring. You didn't get surgery. You didn't change your wardrobe. You didn't hire a stylist. And yet something about you is different, unshakably, unmistakably different. Your eyes hold more depth. Your posture speaks without words. Your presence moves like something ancient woke up inside you. That's the thing about chosen ones. The transformation isn't cosmetic, it's cosmic. You didn't glow up, you grew up spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And now the light, they see it's coming from within. It's the shine of resilience, the spark of survival, the kind of beauty that doesn't come from products. It comes from pain that didn't break you. You've evolved in silence. And now your aura walks into the room before you do. Your skin reflects peace. Your eyes speak of storms survived. Your movements are fluid, not forced. You're not trying to be graceful. You are grace reborn through grit. That's why they can't quite figure you out. They'll say you look different, but what they're really sensing is power. And here's the irony. While they were focused on tearing you down, mocking you, doubting you, you are transforming slowly, quietly, unapologetically. You didn't need revenge. You needed alignment. And now that you have it, you've become a mirror. Just your presence reflects back their insecurities, their fake confidence, their need to be seen. You don't even try, yet people feel exposed in your energy. That's the true mystery. You didn't chase beauty, you chased wholeness. And the result, unfiltered attraction. The kind that can be bottled, bought or borrowed. The kind that haunts you, may not even notice the shift because you're not looking at yourself through the lens of ego. You're just living, healing, rising, but everyone else sees it and they can't stop wondering what happened to you. Here's the truth. Nothing happened to you. You became, and now you're the walking proof that when the universe chooses someone, it shows on their face, in their energy, in the way they carry themselves, like they've already won a war. No one even knew they were fighting. Number 6, heal without words. Let your empathy speak where others stay silent. They don't understand how simply being near you makes them feel different, lighter, safer. It confuses them because you didn't say much, and yet they feel seen in ways they've never felt before. That's your power, chosen one. You don't just listen, you absorb. You don't react, you tune in while the world races to speak. You've mastered the rare art of presence. The way you lock eyes, the way your silence invites their truth. It's unsettling and healing all at once. Because you're not just hearing people, you're feeling them, even the parts they try to hide. You have an emotional frequency most can't access. And that's exactly what makes you dangerous to the fake ones and magnetic to the broken ones. Your empathy isn't performative. It's not calculated. It's not rehearsed. It's real. And in a world full of masks, that kind of sincerity is a threat. People open up to you without knowing why. Strangers confess what they've never dared to say aloud. Friends drop their guards and reveal wounds they've buried for years. You are the mirror they didn't ask for but needed, and you reflect their pain without judgment, only clarity. Your energy is like a steady fire on a cold night, quiet, warm, unwavering. That's what makes you attractive. Not in a shallow surface level way, but in a soul penetrating, can't stop thinking about it way. They don't know why they trust you, why they feel calmer in your presence. But we both know your empathy isn't normal. It's a form of healing they can't get anywhere else. And here's what they'll never admit. Your ability to make others feel safe exposes how unsafe they feel with everyone else. That's the twist. While they try to manipulate, compete, and pretend, they overlooked your quiet superpower. You understand what most people run from, and once someone tastes that kind of emotional clarity, they crave it again. That's why they keep coming back. You haunt their thoughts, chosen ones. Don't chase validation, but they become the place people run to when the world becomes too loud, too fake, too cold. So, Don't underestimate your empathy. It's not soft, it's your edge. It's the very thing that's making you unforgettable. Number 7, quit competing. Create so no one can touch your lane while they're busy racing each other to be seen. You're building something no one else can even understand yet. That's what separates you. You're not here to compete, you're here to create. Competition is loud, anxious, and constantly looking sideways, but creation, it's quiet power. And chosen ones carry that silence like a weapon. You didn't need to prove yourself because you already are the proof of what happens when purpose outshines performance. That's why you're becoming more attractive, and they don't get it. They're stuck in comparison loops, trying to outdress, outshine, outtalk, while you move like you're guided by something they can't touch. And you've tapped into your own lane, crafted by your experiences, your resilience, your vision. That's what makes your energy impossible to imitate. You see, when you stop trying to fit in and start building from your soul, people feel it. It's not performative, it's pure. And that kind of confidence isn't something you shout from rooftops. It's something that lingers in a room long after you've left. The irony, by refusing to compete, you become unforgettable while they chase applause. You're creating legacy while they perform for attention. You're in your zone, crafting something deeper, something lasting, and it haunts them because every time they try to compete with you, they realize there's no finish line when the other person isn't even in the race. Your calm threatens them, your detachment rattles them, your discipline exposes their desperation. That's why your glow hits differently. It's not cosmetic, it's cosmic. You are the blueprint for quiet domination, for purpose without performance, for power without noise. So keep creating, keep building, stay focused on the vision that only you can see, because that's the very thing that's making you more magnetic than ever. And the more they try to figure it out, the more they realize they can't compete with someone who isn't playing their game. Number 8, don't be shallow. Your depth will make people rethink their lives. There's something about your energy that makes people freeze mid-thought. You don't have to raise your voice or demand attention. Your mere presence disrupts the atmosphere. Chosen ones carry an intensity that isn't loud, but it echoes. It doesn't beg for the spotlight, but somehow it blinds everything around it. This isn't the kind of intensity born from anger or ego. It's the quiet kind. The kind that makes others question themselves, like standing next to a mirror that shows them everything they've avoided. Your focus, your stillness, your refusal to be distracted by the meaningless that alone makes people nervous, because you're not chasing the moment. You are the moment. Your eyes speak truths they're not ready to face. Your silence forces self-reflection, and without even meaning to you, shine a spotlight on everything they've been running from, their wasted time, their fake relationships, their empty goals. That's the kind of energy that lingers. It follows them home. It keeps them up at night wondering why their life suddenly feels off track after being around you. You didn't come here to impress, you came to align. And that intensity, that fire, isn't something they can handle casually. It shakes people. It challenges them. It makes them wonder, am I even living with purpose? That's why some admire you and some avoid you, but all of them feel you. They think you're mysterious. They think you're too serious. But what they're really sensing is that you're deeply connected to something they don't understand. You're not chasing approval, likes, or noise. You're anchored to something real, something internal, unshakable. That scares people who rely on external validation to feel whole. But here's the irony. The very people who criticize your intensity are the same ones who wish they had it. They envy the depth. You walk with the presence. You carry the purpose that bleeds from your silence. You don't preach, you don't push, you just are. And that's enough to flip someone's whole perspective upside down. That's why you're unforgettable, and that's why they'll never forget how different life felt the moment you walked in number 9 Reconnect. Or they lost nature is whispering what the world can't teach you. There's a reason they can't explain. What draws them to you? It's not your face, it's not your style, it's not even your words. It's something older, something eternal. Chosen ones move with a rhythm. The average person forgot how to hear. You're not just walking through life. You're in sync with forces most people no longer notice. When others rush through days, numbed by noise, you feel the subtle pull of the wind, the silence between thoughts, the hidden pattern behind every so-called coincidence. You don't just exist, you align your presence. Feels like stillness wrapped in fire. When you walk into a room, there's a pause in the energy, like nature itself took a breath. They don't know how to describe it, but they feel it, like the forest is following you, like time bends slightly to let you pass. They don't know what to call it, so they call it weird, intense, or deep. But what it really is divine coordination. You're part of something vast, something they disconnected from long ago while chasing empty thrills and artificial lives. You notice the signs, the numbers, the patterns, the people who show up at the exact moment you needed them or they needed you, the moments that seem too perfect to be chanced. That's not luck. That's alignment. That's what happens when you're in sync with the unseen laws that shape everything. And this, it scares people, because your calm makes them question their chaos. Your connection makes them confront their disconnection. Your very presence exposes how far they've drifted from truth. And it stings. They wonder how you stay. Soul-centered, how you see through situations they can't even explain, but it's simple. You listen to nature, to instinct, to the current flowing beneath this noisy world. You didn't choose this connection, it chose you. And now your glow carries that quiet, sacred wisdom everywhere you go. That's the kind of attractiveness no one can imitate. It's not taught, it's remembered. And they'll keep wondering how you do it while you're too busy flowing with the universe to explain number 10. Don't break under pressure. Resilience is what makes you untouchable. There's something about the way you've survived that makes people pause. They don't know the full story, but they can feel the strength. While others break under the slightest weight, you've been carrying storms in silence and still move like nothing can touch you. Chosen ones aren't invincible, they just built differently. Life has thrown you into fire more times than you can count, but instead of turning to ashes, you became the flame itself. You didn't just get through the pain, you absorbed it, learned from it, and turned it into something unbreakable. That's why people stare. That's why they whisper. There's a gravity to you now, a quiet kind of power that doesn't need to scream to be felt. You walk like someone who's seen the worst and still decided to rise. And that resilience, that's what makes you so dangerously attractive. They can't figure it out. They don't understand why someone who's been through hell still looks like peace. And the irony, the same people who doubted you now look to you for strength, because when chaos hits, you don't flinch, you anchor. While they panic, you breathe while they scatter. You remain calm, collected, untouched. That's the kind of energy people crave, but can't fake. Your power isn't in your reaction, it's in your control. You don't brag, you don't complain, you let your comeback do the talking. And that terrifies those who once thought you were finished. See, resilience isn't about being emotionless. It's about refusing to be defined by defeat. You've made your teacher pain, not your prison. That's why your glow is different. That's why your energy feels sacred. You've survived what others didn't, and you carry it like a crown. No one else has earned this unshakable spirit. It haunts the ones who tried to destroy you because they failed, and now every time they see you rise higher, stronger, more radiant, they're reminded that the battle they started became your transformation. You are untouchable, not because you've never been hurt, but because nothing has ever been able to keep you down. And that's the kind of strength no one can steal. Number 11, stop seeking revenge. Forgiveness will confuse and defeat them. Forgiveness is the last thing they expect from you. They came for blood, they lied. They mocked, they tried to break you in ways that would leave anyone bitter for life. But instead of crumbling, you did something that sent shockwaves through their ego. You let go, not because you're weak, not because you forgot, but because you understood one thing: they never will. Carrying poison in your heart only delays your rise. Forgiveness in your hands is not submission. It's strategy. It's a declaration that you will not be controlled by pain, anger, or the shadows of their intentions. When you release what they did, you're not excusing them, you're escaping them. And that freedom, it's what haunts them. They wanted you trapped in retaliation. They wanted to see you spiral. But your refusal to stay in the battlefield they created has turned the tables in a way they can't comprehend. You didn't fight back because you outgrew the war. And now you glow with something they'll never possess. Peace that can be touched. To them, this is terrifying, because forgiveness removes their power. Their insults no longer echo. Their betrayal no longer stings. Their schemes fall flat. Why? Because you're not just forgiving, you're ascending. And that kind of grace doesn't come from pretending, it comes from mastering yourself. You didn't let go because they deserved peace. You let go because you did. And now they watch in silence, confused, disarmed, and quietly ashamed. The same people who hope to break you are now haunted by the fact that you're still standing, still glowing, and completely unbothered. This is the part they never saw coming. Your elegance in the aftermath, your refusal to play their games, and the way your healing made you more magnetic than ever. They threw darkness at you and it made your light impossible to ignore. Chosen ones, forgive not because it's easy, but because revenge is too small for the path they're walking. So let them stare, let them wonder. You've already won. And you never even had to throw a punch, because when your peace becomes your weapon, there's nothing left for your enemies to destroy. Number 12, choose purpose over popularity. That's how you win without begging. They chase applause, you chase alignment. That's why they'll burn out under the spotlight while you rise in silence. Chosen ones don't walk the same road as everyone else, and that's exactly why people can't stop watching them, while others bend and twist themselves for likes, validation, and surface level praise. You walk steady with eyes locked on something far greater. Not fame, not recognition. Purpose. That quiet, undeniable force that moves you when no one's clapping and keeps you going when no one understands your path. They don't get it. And they're not supposed to, because your journey isn't built for their approval. It's built for something deeper. Your life is unfolding according to a blueprint they can't read. While they're busy trying to go viral, you're becoming eternal. And the irony, the more you ignore the crowd, the more magnetic you become. They feel something different in your presence, even if they can't name it. That's the power of moving with intention. It haunts them. Your discipline is louder than their trends. Your silence carries more weight than their words. You don't need to announce your evolution. Your results whisper it into every room you walk into. In a world drunk on attention, your focus is intoxicating. You're not just attractive because of how you look. You're attractive because of how you move, with clarity, with conviction, with a fire that doesn't need to be fed by followers or claps. That energy is rare, it's sacred. It inspires those who are ready and exposes those who are lost. That's why people either want to follow you or fight you. Your presence forces them to confront their own emptiness. And you just keep building, guiding, rising, chosen ones. Don't chase the crowd, they light the way ahead of it. And whether they admit it or not, your glow is waking people up. You've become the proof that purpose is more powerful than popularity, that peace is louder than praise, and that when you live in alignment, you don't just attract attention, you attract transformation. Keep walking, they'll follow when the noise dies down and the truth gets too loud to ignore. And now, as everything begins to make sense, remember this: you were never meant to fit in, you were designed to stand out. The glow they don't understand was never for them to explain, it was for you to embody. The more you walk in alignment with who you truly are, the more magnetic, mysterious, and unstoppable you become. But the path of the chosen, if this message resonated with your spirit, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to join a powerful community of chosen ones, and drop "I'm ready" in the comments. Your transformation is just getting started.